Welcome to the Industrial Talk Podcast with Scott Mackenzie. Scott is a passionate industry professional dedicated to transferring cutting-edge, industry-focused innovations and trends while highlighting the men and women who keep the world moving. So put on your hard hat, grab your work boots, and let's go.
All right, once again, day 3 here at DistribuTech. And it is in Dallas, Texas, and it is a collection of problem solvers. And thank you very much for joining Industrial Talk, the #1 industrial-related podcast in the universe that celebrates you industry professionals all around the world. You're bold, brave, you dare greatly. You innovate, you collaborate. You are solving problems each and every day. We thank you very much for what you do. That's why you are the heroes in this story. We're also brought to you by Siemens Smart Infrastructure and Grid Software. Go out to Siemens.com. Great people, great company, great solutions. Go out to Siemens.com, find out more. You will be pleasantly pleased with all of the offerings. All right, in the hot seat. He's been on the hot seat before. Kevin, how do you say your last name?
Kucera.
Kucera. See, I would have butchered that, just FYI. But now I know Kucera. And we're going to be talking a little bit about safety. We're going to be talking about what he's been experienced here at DistribuTech as well as his company. So let's get cracking.
Let's get cracking.
Let's get cracking. So they stole that from me because I've been saying that for a long time. So they stole let's get cracking.
Seattle cracking.
Yeah,
let's roll.
They stole it from me. So I should be earning royalties. I doubt that. I'm sure I'm not going to see a penny.
Not today.
Hey, it's day 3.
Well, it's been a great show so far, that's for sure.
Yeah?
Oh, a lot of activity, 600 booths, 18,000 people. Clarion really
you got the
together.
data. I've been stuck in the salt mine. I know that there's been a lot of people, but man, that's pretty impressive.
It's just a zoo out there. It's crawling with people.
It's big business.
It is big business. This is incredible. It's probably the #1 show on earth, honestly, for utility. I'm guessing if it's not, it's very close. It's very impressive.
I don't know of any other one. I really and given the conversations that I've had here at DistribuTech, it's a frothy market out there with a lot of interest, a lot of opportunities, a lot of innovation and technology.
We've had a lot of activity at our booth with our grid hardening technology, the ultra-fast surge arresters. It's been a huge pickup from last year. I think the industry awareness has really come alive in the importance of hardening the grid and creating that resiliency of their medium voltage systems.
What's medium voltage?
Anything from, I term it as anything from 2 kV to 72,000 volts, maybe 115,000 volts.
You got it. Okay. You can stick with kV because I don't know. I have to do the math when you say thousands. It's like, I don't know what that's 15 kV.
We got to spin it up a little bit here and there.
Stretch it out a little bit. Well, that has been a very interesting conversation I've been having here at this event, and that is how do we stabilize the grid even more? How do we ensure the quality of that grid? Give us a little sort of 411 on what that technology, your technology, provides.
Well, this technology provides protection against fast transients known as E1 transients, directly related to electromagnetic pulse. The devices that we have developed in conjunction with the factory, actually the factory developed them at Advanced Fusion Systems and we're a value-added reseller. They actually operate in 6 nanoseconds and they are guaranteed for 1,000 events, 1,000 pulses. So they have no metal oxide technology inside of them, no silicon internally, just a secret sauce that makes them maintenance-free and robust.
Give me a use case. What do you mean by all of that? That sounds great. It sounds like a tremendous, product. But give me some real life sort of example.
Well, one example could be a nuclear event, which would be catastrophic across the boards. However, in today's day and age, there's actually directed energy weapons that could be used on the grid. Those weapons could be creating a pulse known as an E1, which is a conducted energy pulse that travels in the conductor itself and creates a problem for transformers, generators, points of entry to buildings. Could be catastrophic failure, as a matter of fact. So we prevent that.
It's by protecting the line, relaying, in a sense.
We're shunting all of that to Earth. Beginning in 6 nanoseconds.
Yeah.
It's just incredible. 0.8 zeros and a 1/6 of a second.
Where do you place it on the grid? Where do you place your device? I mean, where physically does it exist and reside?
This device could reside at any transformer rectifier. It could be acting as EMP scouts on the line out in the field, up on the lines.
You can attach it to the lines?
Yes, if you're mounting it physically to a pole and having a flying lead to the line and then grounding it, yes. So it's pretty much anywhere. There's a market for 100,000 of these, if not 500,000.
And it seems, and correct me if I'm wrong, installation is not that difficult.
No, I would say that every situation has its own flavor, but literally you're only using about 1 meter of wire on one side and connecting to the ground on the other in a very generalized application.
Are you having your own ground wire, or are you using the bonding of the pole?
We would prefer to use the bonding of the pole. However, we would want to make sure that it's effectively grounded.
Do you mean there are bonds out there that are not grounded properly?
I would never say that.
No. All right, let's go into this. First off, let's just get a little background on Kevin. We went right into what we were
deep end of the pool.
Yeah, right. And it was great. I enjoyed it. I was like, okay, I'm all in. Background. Give us a little background.
I've been in the electrical industry for 35 years and slowly built up a business in railroad services and 7 master licenses in the U.S. It's a passion of mine. Electricity is a passion.
Yeah. You can tell. We were talking offline when you buzzed on by. You buzzed the tower. And we talked about discussing safety. Expand a little bit about that.
Well, this is one of the largest utility shows in the world. And one thing that hasn't really been addressed here is just safety issues. I don't see a lot of safety products out on the floor, actually. There is some. But I felt like there's been a few incidences in my career where I'd like to share what can happen, because anything can happen, and I walked away from one very, very close event by a millimeter.
Yeah. Take us through that.
Well, it's a lengthy story, but it's got a punchline at the end.
I own this podcast.
Boom. Yeah.
I can lengthy it as much as I want to lengthy it.
Nice.
That's me. Sorry.
Technical difficulty.
Technical difficulties right there.
We're back.
I got it. You're back. Easy.
Well, that was an electrical safety.
Yeah, are you okay?
That was a close call. We got to file a form for that.
You're not.
File a form.
Go for it.
Oh.
Tell us about that.
So back, it was about 13, 14 years ago. I didn't have my company at the time, and I was just waiting for a large job to start, a data center job. So I was unemployed at the time, and I went out of the union hall as a marine electrician. I'd never done it before.
Right. But you said I stayed at a Holiday Inn, so I figure I can handle it.
Sure. So it was in downtown Seattle. I show up on this dry dock. It's actually a dry dock right in downtown Seattle. It's still there. And Stan, the 70-year-old superintendent of electrical, comes out and meets me, and he goes, "Thank God my replacement's here." And I looked at him, and I'm like, "Oh, okay. I guess I'm going to play this game." And
wow.
So we're wandering around there for a couple of months, and I'm the new celebrity kid out there. This place is very staunch in its ways and methods, and Stan's been there for 42 years. And I'm supposedly known as the new guy. So somehow this got spread around, and I was the new little superstar kid running around. And one day Stan flips the keys to me to the main electrical service. And by this time I knew the whole shipyard fairly well, and I knew what a death trap it was, frankly. I never thought anything was going to happen close to me, but Stan flips the keys to me to the main service gear. It's 480 gear, 2,000 amps, and 122,000 amps fault current. I'm like, all right, no problem. He goes, just go see what it takes to replace the fuse panel that goes up to the old mast loft, the fuse panel in the stairwell, you know. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, I saw that thing, and I already had it kind of laid out in my head how I'd replace it eventually, because that's just what I do.
It's in the stairwell.
It's in the stairwell, literally.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking 1922 installation, something like that. So it goes figure out what it'd take to just fix that up and put a new panel upstairs in the old mast loft. Said no problem. I already knew there was a conduit under the piers over to that general area, and I thought, well, it's got to go to the main switchgear. So, you know, this is a type of environment where sauntering's a thing. So I saunter over to the main gear, check it out. I'm like, well, obviously it's going to come into this feeder cabinet at the end, the subsection, and I'm going to go in the back and open up the door. Just going to peek. I'm not going to break the plane. I'm just going to confirm that pipe goes into the cabinet. It's done 1 million times a year, probably 5,000 to 10,000 times a day by any electrical individual out in the world, lineman, electrician, etc. So it's got a pistol grip handle.
Yeah.
Inside there's 2 rods.
Yeah.
You turn the handle,
Classic.
the rods open.
Yeah.
You open the door.
Right.
There was the newest piece of equipment on the whole site, put in 1989 or whatever.
Right.
Well, stick the key in there, it unlocks. I go to turn the handle. It's stuck.
It gets a little kludgy. Put a little elbow grease on it.
The next one's a little jar, and the third one's a sharp jar, and if it doesn't go, I'll walk away. Exact thought process. Second one doesn't go. Third one, boom! We're talking 14-foot fireball.
Hey.
And I thought I was looking at myself dead for half a second. I literally thought I was looking at myself dead for half a second.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I'm not dead. I'm going to go walk over to the office and meet the whole office halfway, because the whole shipyard's dead. There's people in holes of ships in the dark. Everybody, it's dark everywhere.
The whole place is dark.
It's dead.
Yeah.
Sure enough, Stan and the whole entourage, even the president and the owner of the shipyard meets me. What happened? I go, well, it blew up. I'm like, I don't know. Let's go check it out. I'm alive. You're okay? Yeah, I'm alive. Well, we go over there, and at that, you know, it's no problem. Let's open the door. Well, the last person to close the door broke the stud off the back, and the rod had sat in there for 25 years unstuck, and I jarred it. It fell out.
Hit a phase.
It fell out, hit the lug. The main ground lug is right 1 millimeter from the door. Down here, a 4/0's coming into it, and it's not fully in. It's recessed down a half an inch.
Yeah.
The bottom of the rod lands smack in the main ground of the whole site and falls against A phase.
Oh, yeah.
Direct short. The breaker tripped instantaneously. So if the rod had scraped the door on the way down, I would have been sprayed with 35,000 degree metal and been burnt to probably death.
Yeah.
So I walked away. Unbelievable. And then later on in the next day or so, of course, that was a big talking point that I'm still walking around. People were like 600 feet down the pier. We saw it happen. It was 14-foot fireball. Your feet came off the ground. And I said, well, now everybody knows I levitate. You know, I think the magnetism brought me off the ground.
So
I didn't jump.
Yeah. Let me ask you this: what was the subsequent focus? I mean, come on. It was like, I've been in those locations. It's like Mad Max. It's beyond Thunderdome, and it's
we buffed the bus off, welded the stud on, closed the door. After, you know, we turned it on pretty much right away and posted somebody there to keep everybody away while the rod got fixed with the door. But it was back. Everything was put back together in like 3 hours. I went home at the normal time that day. It's amazing. I'm still happy to be alive. So the whole point of this is anything can happen. Don't trust that you're just going to go look in a cabinet, not break the plane. This happened to me, and for the first 4 or 5 years after this, I'd get emotional about it because it was that close.
Yeah.
Now I can share it.
Yeah.
I used to teach. I've stepped away from teaching apprenticeship, but I tell this story to every class.
Yeah.
And
see, what would interest me is these subsequent conversations that took place. Okay, we repaired it, hopefully made it safe, took care of the problem, but you know, how many boxes existed on that site? How many electrical challenges? I mean, was there any conversation about anything Or is it just like business as usual the next day, no big deal?
I'll just say it was business as usual. There's a little bit more to that. You know, I'm not going to get into the shipyard's business, but shortly thereafter, my big job started. We parted ways, and I went on to run a very large data center in downtown Seattle. So the moral of the story is don't take it for granted that you're going to be safe even if you're going to take a peek, because things can happen, you know.
I work with a company called Iris, and what's interesting about Iris and how they got their start was the ability to be able to look into boxes. They have these boxes that you could actually see in, be able to test whether but in your case you would never know,
right,
because of that little metal hinge locking device.
So there's another situation that happens regularly where people get in trouble, and that's vaults, underground vaults, right? You've heard stories about guys dying in vaults. I know 3 guys that died in a vault in the same job. So hydrogen sulfide.
Gases.
Yep. Paul Kucera was one electrician. He was a year behind.
You can't dig them out. They're done. They're down in the vault, and that's it. Yeah, you're not.
Well, one guy went down. The next guy put his head in there. Hydrogen sulfide, one air. He fell in. Third guy fell in. The fourth guy got incapacitated. Didn't die, but it was a recovery effort right out of the gate in Superior, Wisconsin. So you got to do your sniffer tests.
See, this is interesting. There are companies here at DistribuTech that specialize in that. When I was a lineman and I was doing splicing of underground cable, we'd have the vault, and all we had, right, it was one step above the Parrot. Quite frankly, it was just a device. You stick in the hole,
right.
Squeeze, test, everything's fine. But we did have a tremendous amount of training on making sure that vault is properly ventilated and you know, void of any dangerous vapors. But it's amazing how in that scenario, I mean, you don't go in.
Right.
Once that's the sad part about it. Once somebody collapses in a vault, that's it.
You call 911.
Yeah. That's it. It's pretty straightforward. You can't go in and get them. Doesn't make sense.
100%. In this case, people have been going in and out of that vault, from what I heard, for 10 or 15 years, all the time. And then it was somehow hydrogen sulfide creeped into that vault where the pumps were, and that was the end of it. It was a recovery effort right away.
How'd that happen? You know? Was there any root cause?
Well, it was a garbage dump next door. So they think that seeped through groundwater or whatnot into that vault. It was actually, I don't know all the details, but it was obviously tragic.
Yeah, it highlights the need for professionalism, the need for individuals to be properly trained.
Absolutely.
And this is a profession, specifically in the world of power and utilities. It's a profession that is unforgiving. And the other thing that always, when I was doing it, it's you become sort of numb or cavalier to a certain extent, which you shouldn't, because in the world of power, it just sort of sits there. It's not spinning. It doesn't say, "Hey, watch out, man! I'm a spinning whirly gig. You can tell that it's dangerous. Don't stick your hand in here because it's spinning and it's going to chop your hand off." That's not the case. You can't. It's just there. It's very static from movement, and so that's the challenge. That's always been sort of the lulls you into thinking, it's no big deal, but you know.
How about all the climbing? Linemen still do a lot of climbing. Climbing happens all the time. They've got lineman rodeos to do rescue.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they have that very well training. That program is an A+.
Yeah, and we would go through it over and over and over again, you know. And what's interesting, even when I was climbing poles, for some reason or another, you just sort of knew that you're climbing a pole. Inside your head, you're going to be safe. You didn't do it cavalierly. Let's put it that way. You're climbing a pole, and gravity is different up there. It's much more. It's pushing you into that pole in a big way, and it's the other elements that. A case in point. Whenever we would de-energize lines, right, and there was an accident. And on towers, and once you de-energize, it doesn't matter. You still have to ground the conduction. If you're working on a line, you ground between. So you're ground on one side, ground on the other side. You're working in between the grounds, and it's make sure that that's grounded properly. One. But there were some people that work on the static, the very top line, and they forget that that's just like a capacitor. It's just like it runs miles and miles and miles, and it just builds up, and it's looking for a way to discharge. And you could be the path to ground, whether you like it or not, and it kills you. So it's like those are non-negotiable. You just, to this day when I'm driving, it's just sort of a weird. To this day. I'll look at lines. I just drive, look at lines, look at the construction. Well, look at that tree. That tree's getting into that line. Better be careful about that. And
look at that beaver dam.
Yeah, I just keep on going. Look at that pole. It's leaning. What is that? And but one of the areas is just when I see construction, I always look for the grounds. It's like, well, you guys are on that. Where's the grounds, man? Come on.
Don't be cutting corners.
Yeah, don't be cutting corners, man. Well, that's a great conversation.
Yeah, it really is. I've enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah. How do people get a hold of you? They want to know about your product. Let's put it that way.
Well, I'm going to send them directly to the manufacturer's website on this one. ADVFUSION. ADVfusion.com.
Yeah, we're going to have it out on Industrial Talk.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thank you very much. Appreciate you buzzing the tower and getting on Industrial Talk.
Scott. It's been fun. Thank you.
Yeah. Sorry about the technical difference. My foot caught on a cable. Yes. Speaking of danger.
Right? Tripping hazard.
There it is. It was life or death.
Thanks, guys.
All right, once again, we're broadcasting from DistribuTech. Dallas, Texas is the location, and it is great. You get people like Kevin who knows their stuff. This is a fantastic event. If you're in the world of utilities, transmission, distribution, hardware, whatever it might be, asset management, this is an event for you. You need to put this on your calendar for next year if you are not here. We're also brought to you by those wonderful people at Siemens. Siemens Smart Infrastructure and Grid Software. Go out to Siemens.com. Great people, great company, great solutions, Siemens.com. We're going to wrap it up on the other side. Stay tuned. We will be right back.
You're listening to the Industrial Talk Podcast Network.
Kevin Kucera. Yes, RPM Electric Inc. That was DistribuTech. We were chirping about safety. It's a big deal. I enjoy it. Anytime I can talk about safety, specifically in the world of utilities, I'm all there. As you can tell, I was like reliving my childhood of being able to climb towers and do line work and, living that dream. Can't do it now. Too difficult. But boy, can I just respect the people that do it today. Outstanding conversation. That's DistribuTech. Again, it's right around the corner. And it is a fabulous event. Clarion Events puts it on. Phenomenal. Must attend event. A lot of things happening in that industry in a big way. Put it on your calendar. All right, Industrial Talk is here for you. Contact me, industrialtalk.com. I'm there. Be bold, be brave, dare greatly. Hang out with Kevin. Change the world. We're going to have another great conversation shortly, so stay tuned.